Hey everyone, welcome back to the workshop. This is going to be kind of a quick one. I'm out in the shop just playing around with the Aliencell laser, going through some of my miscellaneous material because you got to use up that stash of cutoffs. I've got a couple pieces of I think this is like a cedar, and it's about a 1/4 inch thick, give or take. I think I can make just a fun little decorative piece with this, and so I want to do a little playing with the Aliencell software. See if we can set up a quick file. Going to do a cut and an engrave, put these things together, and just get to know this laser a little bit more. So if you're new to the Aliencell laser, this might be just a quick sneak preview into the laser as well as the software. I've done a full review on this machine. Been having some fun with it. Want to see how it can do on some more materials and such. So I'm going to jump over to the computer. We're going to do some design work, and we'll get right into it. All right, I've gone ahead and I've loaded the material into the laser. So the first thing I'm going to do is come over here, grab a snapshot, and that will kind of give us the overview of where the material's at. That's going to help us size things and then also place them when we're done. This does just take a few seconds, and it will capture an image. It does have those two dual cameras in there, and so you get a little bit less aberration and a little more accurate. So now the other thing I want to do is go ahead and grab a measurement. So I'm going to go measure by select point, and we're just going to come into the center of this one. That's going to move the head over. It's got the little probe that's going to be on the side of the module. That's going to jump over to the location where we told it to focus. We'll take a quick measurement, and then you'll see over here in the distance, it's going to pop up the distance that it is seeing that. So with that in place, we can start playing around with the design. All right, so I've gone ahead and I'm borrowing some graphics. I have a subscription to Create a Fabrica, and so I'll just bring this over here for you. I've gone ahead and downloaded a couple things here. We've got some Bigfoot and pine forest silhouettes, and I've got a state of Minnesota outline. So we're going to be working with those graphics. You can come down here to this little import button here, and that will allow you to import images. So if we open this up, we're already in the folder we need. So I'm going to grab my Minnesota outline, and I'm going to bring it over here. It'll be easier to see. So what I'm wanting you to do is create a Minnesota outline, but I'm going to make this 2-layered. The second layer is just going to be kind of a 1/4 inch or so outline. And then the other one will be the back piece that we'll actually engrave on. So I need to set up an outline of the state. Now I want this shape to be the inner, and I'm going to use our outline tool. So if you come over to this menu here, you'll see it highlights with outline. We're going to go ahead and click on that. And now it's going to ask, what do we want for an outline? I want a standard outline, and that will kind of try to follow the line as best. If we selected rubber band, it kind of goes point to point to the extents. So as you can kind of see there, it's an outline, but it gives you more straight lines just from kind of the peaks, but we don't want that. We're going to go a standard outline, and I want the offset distance, like I say, closer to a 1/4 inch, so that's going to be about 6 millimeters. And you can adjust your corner type. Round is what we're going for. We want nice and soft on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, hit confirm, and now we have that. Oops. We're going to go 6 millimeter, confirm, and now we have the inner shape and the outer shape. So we'll be able to work with those nicely. So I need to make sure that this fits onto our working area. So I'm going to bring it over here and kind of lay it on there. We'll zoom in a little bit here, and now I'm going to grab the corner piece. I'm just going to start visually scaling this whole thing down. If you hold shift, it will lock its aspect ratio, or you can come up here and click on that, and it should also lock its aspect ratio. Otherwise, if you leave that unlocked, you can really skew things. So holding down shift will lock it, or clicking your little button here in the middle, lock aspect ratio. So we want to make this so it fits on the material. So I'm just going to, I want to leave a little bit of wiggle room here. I think that will do. As a matter of fact, we might even be able to get this all in one piece. So when I have that, we're going to lock with that. I'm going to do a copy of the whole thing. So you can right click, or you can do Control C and then Control V for paste, or right click and select paste. So it does look like we can go off just the one here. And so now we have our two pieces that we're going to work with. And now I can start bringing in my artwork. So I'm going to come back out here and we're going to grab our Sasquatch trees. Now this is a lot larger than we need it. So again, we can size it down. So we want to keep that aspect ratio. I'm just holding shift. Otherwise, like I say, you can come up here and lock that. And I'm going to bring this down onto this one. I'm going to zoom in and get this sized the way we want it. So what I'm looking for is it to kind of take up the bulk of the base, but still capture as much of the trees as we can. So I think that'll do. Now this is going to overlap some. That's fine. It's going to get cut out and then glued over. So I think I'm going to go with that. And I'm keeping this inner line in here just so that I can kind of estimate where these things need to go. Like I say, I want that to just kind of touch the bottom there across the bulk of it. We'll actually even bring this over a little bit more just to capture some more of these trees. Yeah, about like that. That looks pretty good. Now let's throw in something at top. I feel like this is going to be some empty space, so I'm going to come up here to our text tool. We'll just type this in here, and we're going to say the word believe, because, you know, we all got to believe in Bigfoot or Sasquatch, but I don't like that font per se, so I do have one that I downloaded. It's more of like a kind of a grungy font or something like that, and if I remember right, it was called, there we go, Grizzler. All right, so I am going to come to this button over here, and I want to fill this. So I'm going to enable this fill, this little kind of eyelash looking button down over here. That will make that nice and dark. Then we want to scale this to fit up there. That's looking pretty good. We could play around with, you know, we can make it, they call it oblique, I call that italicized. Bold options, actually I think the regular's better. I'm just going to go with the regular. I don't know that I want the italicized. So we'll leave it like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove this inner outline on the bottom one. But we are going to go ahead and cut out these upper ones. So now I've already gone ahead and done some testing for my material. This isn't in their material library, but we're going to select the lines here. I'm going to put these as a cut. I'm going to turn on our advanced options, and I found that if we take it up to 100% power and we go at 12 millimeters a second, and then also lower the focus by about 3. It's about a 1/4 inch material, roughly 6, so we're going to drop it down 3. And it should get through this material. And then I want to make sure that this is the same. Power 100, speed 12, lower the focus by 3. All right, so those are good. And then we want to get our engravings. These are going to be engraving, and I found that if we go with about a 70% max power and a speed of 500, I left the line interval the same, 0.11 millimeter. We should be good. Bidirectional is good, and air assist and whatnot is on. So those should be great for that. Let's go take a look at our preview. It's saying this should only take 3 minutes, 24 seconds. And yeah, it looks like it does the engraving first, and then the cut, which is what we want. So only thing left to do is go ahead and send this to the laser. We'll see how it cuts out and see how it looks when it's done. everything looks pretty good. The test is, will they drop out? Looking pretty good. Looking good there. And then we should be able to layer that up. So let me go ahead and glue this up really quick. All right, for something like this, I'm just going to use some simple CA. This is just some generic medium that I got off Amazon. In some cases, I'll use a thick. This is some Starbond, some nice CA as well. It's not as runny. Will generally give you a little more working time. But I think we'll be okay with the medium. If we needed to, we can also follow it up with some accelerator. So all I'm going to do is put a small bead on this. You gotta make sure you get on the right side. So on this flip side, we're just going to run a small bead along here. Not so much that it's going to run out all over. There you go. And now the tricky part, getting it lined up, because this will grab pretty quickly. So do your best to get it lined up. If you're going to do a lot of these, maybe you want to try to get an alignment jig setup going. But we're just playing around. It's probably just something I'll set on my desk at work for fun. And we'll hold that in place real quick. Should take only about, probably only about 10 seconds or so to grab. If it doesn't, that's where we can use the accelerator to help kick it off. And once that's in place, we'll just set that aside to dry. And there we have a fun little project complete. Actually only used half the material I was looking to use up, but also played around with the software just to kind of get used to some of the tools. And so, you know, download some designs, play around with text, do some multi-layering. You'll learn this laser pretty well. Cool little other side benefits. So you could create this with the engraving in there. And this was the cutout from that piece. Well, there's just enough of a relief with that kerf that it actually seals it up. You can pop it out to reveal what's inside for the engraving. So hope this inspires you. I'm just kind of playing around, learning this laser a little bit more. Thought I'd share a little bit maybe of a beginner project for people that are just jumping in with this laser. If you have any questions, check out my review video. I cover some more things in there with both the software and the laser. Otherwise, hit me up in the comment down below. Tell me what you might like to know more about this laser, what you'd like to see it do. And we'll continue to do some more playing, some fun projects like this in the shop. So thanks for checking it out. Hit that like button on the way out. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And I hope to see you again in the future. But in the meantime, hope you get out of your workshop, make something too. We'll catch you next time.